What is up? Welcome to Talking Touchdowns, brought to you by Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I am your host, Spread Astaire, still adjusting to the new intro, but I like it. Thank you, Simon. Here today, live with Tyler and Kurt. Tyler was live on the scene of the crime in Pennsylvania last night, where my guy, Mike Tomlin, made a terrible, terrible mistake in starting Mitch Trubisky. We need Pickett out there, but all is not lost in Pennsylvania, because what were you able to do? Tell everyone about the 45-1 parlay before we kick this off.
Yeah, that game was actually played across the pond spread. We had to watch it from the other side of Lake Erie, but we did take a loss. I don't really think it's Tomlin's fault as much. It's more Matt Canada. They got to fire the offensive coordinator. Everyone gave the last guy a bunch of crap, Todd Haley.
So Trubisky doesn't get any crap for just overthrowing.
No, I mean he does get some of the crap, but the play calling is just absolutely terrible. Like,
well,
if we put Pickett in there,
execution's even worse.
But think about it, Spread. They put Pickett in there. The play calling stays the same. What happens in 4 weeks when this team still looks the same? They're just going to boot Pickett.
At least the receivers can make plays on the ball.
I mean, maybe. What if Pickett just can't get it to him?
I don't know. I would rather go with the kid. What do you think, Kurt? Is it time for Kenny Pickett?
Hey, look, I played some Kenny Pickett lineups last night. I'm not even going to lie. I was like, they'll come out, Trubisky will throw a pick and fumble, and then we'll go Pickett time. But even though I don't know. I did it just kind of a YOLO, but like it makes sense not to throw him out there, like on the road, divisional rival. Why would you do that to the kid? So I think it's time. I mean,
because as Tomlin said, they're in the winning business, and they did not get business taken care of last night. We'll see how that turns out.
It's not.
Tyler, feels like Belichick, though, right? He's going to be stubborn, huh?
It's not going to turn out well. Did you see their schedule for the rest of the year? They needed that game spread, needed it in every way possible, because from here they come home, they play the Jets. It's a winnable game, but what we've seen out of the Jets, I'm not sure if they can cover those receivers.
Oh, they better beat the Jets.
But then here's where you go from there. You head to Buffalo. That's a loss. You come back home. Here comes Tom Brady. That's another loss. You head down to Miami. They're going to light up that secondary. You head to Philly. They're going to shove it down your throat.
Well, when's TJ Watt get back?
Probably this game right here. The next one I'm going to say the Saints game.
Why on the what? I think they'll be fine. I think they'll beat the Dolphins. I
don't think they're beating the Dolphins.
They're beating the Dolphins.
They couldn't cover Amari Cooper last night.
If TJ Watt's healthy,
what happens when two guys are running 35 miles an hour down the sideline?
If Watt's completely healthy, I think they'll definitely beat him. Facts. I'll bet my largest bet of the year on that if Watt's healthy.
We might have a friendly wager on that game if he's in that game.
No juice? I would love that, because not having paid the juice would be nice. I would definitely do that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to that game.
For sure. And I hate the Steelers, but, when in Rome.
I think they should bottom out. I said this about two teams, them and Dallas. Just bottom out, get a top 3 pick. Pittsburgh's got their quarterback. Take Will Anderson, put him on the other side.
Do
they? TJ Watt.
If they have their quarterback, why wouldn't they?
Claim they have their quarterback spread. So you draft the edge rusher who's going top 3.
Playing, man. He's 24 years old.
Well,
he's like your age, Tyler. Like,
how long are they waiting? An offensive line that's going to get him killed, Spread.
You can't fix an offensive line in one offseason either. What are you going to do? Trey Lance him and wait
patch it together.
Hey, the Bengals did. The Bengals fixed theirs, didn't they?
Oh, my God. Yeah, we're going to get into that one today. So anything more on last night's, hey, congratulations to our guys, Tambo. I know that killed a lot of teasers. I know it killed a lot of live unders. But he got it done.
I seen your favorite coach is getting crap on Twitter for kicking that field goal and ruining the total.
Yeah, I know. And I can't defend him today, right? Even the best people make mistakes. Like, I'm sure like Stephen Hawking's messed up like a formula before, right? Or Bill Gates wrote like a program that sucked before. So even the best people make mistakes. Not the best night for Mike Tomlin and Mike Tomlin fans like myself. But let's go into Sunday slate. We are going to start with the Baltimore Ravens, who are down to -2.5 in New England, taking on the Patriots. Total of 44.5, -150 for the Ravens on the money line, +130 right now. These numbers coming to you from Bookmaker. Tyler, let's talk about this game. This was 3. Lamar Jackson did not throw on Wednesday. Now it's down to 2.5. Kurt talked about a little YOLO move. I say you YOLO. You hope that Lamar's healthy. You lay it with the Baltimore Ravens here. Obviously, the secondary is a concern, But my counter would be, can Mac Jones take advantage of that with these, futuristic game plans that Matt Patricia and Joe Judge are dialing up? I don't think so. I like the Ravens here, and I almost like the under as well. Maybe a Patriots team total under instead of the full game under. What are your thoughts on the Ravens and the Patriots, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm going to side with the Ravens here. I like picking them right here off of that terrible loss they took to Miami when they gave up all those points in the fourth quarter. And just like you said, Spread, Miami was able to make this secondary pay after they blitzed Tua for 3.5 quarters. And it was almost like their pass rush just kind of got tired and they couldn't get to him anymore. And then the patched up secondary just got eaten alive by these receivers. Now, if Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, and these guys are going to be the ones that beat me this week, I'll take my loss. But I think they're going to do the same thing to Mac Jones, blitz the hell out of him, get him rattled. He's not as mobile as Tua, which Tua isn't the most mobile quarterback, but he can move a bit. I think Mac Jones has a bunch of troubles. Their run game won't be able to put much together here either. As long as Lamar's playing, give me Baltimore.
Baltimore secondary is going to feel like they just turned the sliders down. Kurt, Wink Martindale left the Ravens. He's doing good things with the Giants. They got a guy named Mike McDonald in there now. Any concern that maybe this defensive coaching isn't as good? And what are your thoughts here on the Ravens and the Patriots?
I'm still going off what I've been doing all year. The motivated Lamar. He's not the reason they lost last week. So exactly. I'm going to go Ravens. I'm not going to bet it because I just feel so trappy betting at New England with Belichick. So I'm not going to bet it. But if I was, it would be the Ravens. Motivated Lamar. The defense will get themselves together. They'll figure out. They can just get a healthy group. Even if it's like the second or third stringers, get some rhythm. The defense will be okay. For fantasy, I'm not going to be on Lamar heavy as I was last week, but I will go back to him and Mark Andrews stacks, but not very, very lightly. But you always got to have an Andrews Jackson stack if you're MME. And then
Andrew Jackson stack. I love that. Sounds like a Civil War DFS lineup.
Hey, but one thing we got right last week was Demarcus Robinson anytime touchdown. His one catch went for a tutter, so that was nice, little plus 400. But that's where I'm going this game. They finally priced up my boy Jacoby Myers. I was playing the hell out of him in his 11 targets a week, so I don't really like that price for him. That's all I really got for this game. It doesn't feel like you said you like the under, so that's why I don't really – I'm on that side as well. I don't really like it for DFS.
Tyler, any props you're targeting?
Lamar's passing plus rushing yards are set right around 270.5. I think that's a bit low when he's throwing the ball pretty well. I think Bateman will take the top off this defense at some point again like he's done the last few weeks. And if Lamar starts running the ball similar to how he did last week, he's going to blow that number out of the water.
What about we're just going to keep riding Mark Andrews anytime touchdown, right? It's going to happen eventually.
I don't hate that either because
What about 2 touchdowns?
I mean, let's see the odds we're getting on that one.
I'm definitely
got to be close to 6-1, maybe
not going to be 45-1. That's for sure.
No, not going to be
45-1, but I did bet
throw it in there
too. So I'm definitely going to ride that again. I would definitely flirt with 2 as well.
How do the Patriots traditionally do against tight ends? I would think
plus 850 to score 2 touchdowns.
It's horrible. It's horrible, right?
I mean, plus 850 on him, plus 850 on Jackson, 8-1 on Damian Harris. Bateman's 10-1.
Just give me Mark Andrews anytime touchdown.
All right, we'll go with that one. Tyler, all week, we've been doing content and I've been on other shows. I've been really high on the Buffalo Bills. This line is down to 5 now. And boy, I can see why it's moving. This isn't a market-based move. This is because of injuries. Ed Oliver now joins the parade there. I mean, you think it's the Baltimore Ravens of last year, the way these Bills injuries are stacking up. Of course, no Tre'Davious White, no Micah Hyde, and no Jordan Phillips. So they're missing it on the front end and the back end. I'm not changing my perspective because my idea here is that you take out that one quarter and Miami's not really that good. So it'll be interesting to see how these Dolphins turn. I want them to prove it to me again. And we talked about it when we were doing playbook and power rankings this week. Playing the Bills completely skews your numbers. That's how dominant this team has been. They're firing on all cylinders. If anyone can just step in and plug these holes, it's been Sean McDermott and the squad that they've assembled up here in Buffalo. I still like Buffalo -5, but I don't love it like I did earlier in the week, especially with Ed Oliver being out. What are your thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, perfect time to plug our playbook spread. I just finished up the write-down on that. I'll give you the couple last little sentences I wrote on it because I'm going to be opposite of you here, spread. With all the injuries on Buffalo's side, Like, they know they're very capable of being a Final Four team. Why would you go out here in week 3 and maybe even put guys on the field that you could just like get healthy for the rest of the season? Why kill them in week 3 to prove to yourself you can beat a Miami team who's trying to work their way up? I think they come out. They don't really lean on the run game either. So I don't think they come out and try and chew clock and keep Miami's defense on the sideline. The game probably shoots out, but I'm going to wait and try and get that number live a little lower. Hopefully the first couple drives don't score touchdowns.
Ooh, I think that's going to be rough.
I think Miami's coming out making a statement, though, spread. All the injuries on this defensive side, I think they come out, they get the win. And then Monday morning, everyone's talking about Miami is like the new team in the AFC. Are they a Super Bowl contender or not?
All right. We'll definitely be opposite there. But to get all those thoughts, if you heard the playbook that you're mentioning and you're new to the channel, first of all, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for joining us. But also head on over to runpuresports.com. Get the best in all the daily fantasy and betting information you have on the internet. Let's go with promo code NFL15. That way you'll get 15% off the lifetime of your membership. Make sure you're taking advantage of that. And then, of course, that'll get you on the DF side. If you're on the DFS side and you're just checking the show out, you're a big fan of Kurt, use that promo code GetBets, become a Bets member. You too can have access to the NFL playbook. Tyler and I are pretty proud of it. And, of course, we're fine-tuning it, right, Tyler, for the original idea, and that's the NBA playbook, which we can't wait to debut at the beginning of this season. Of course, we'll be talking about a certain coaching change over in New England, but it won't be Bill Belichick. Let's go to Kurt and talk about what you think of these Buffalo Bills, how they're going to do against the Miami Dolphins here. Man, I don't know. I'm having trouble buying in that Tua is all of a sudden a great quarterback and McDaniels is the greatest offensive mind since Bill Walsh. What are your thoughts, Kurt?
I do think McDaniels he's not Bill Walsh, but I think he's a great offensive coordinator. And I think until everyone gets kind of a year of film on him, he's going to be able to do what he wants as far as calling plays and really finding spots for these two speedsters to kind of get open. So I think they can cover. I don't think it'll ever be a scare. I think Buffalo will lead most of the game, but I do think Miami will cover just because they can move the ball. And I think Buffalo's having injuries on the road. Like Tyler said, why push guys who are kind of iffy?
My question is, though, what have we shown that Miami's going to be able to stop this offense? I mean, this offense.
I'm not sure that
they have a pretty good secondary, and if Gabe
pretty
Davis
good secondary didn't look good against Lamar. Now you're going up against Josh Allen.
I mean, how many? Other than the busted Rashad Bateman over the top
they
play,
put up 38 points.
Yeah, but
they should have won the game.
Yeah, but how it was other than the secondary getting the top blown off them that one play. They played a decent game spread. Like the 80-yard run wasn't the secondary's fault.
Good point. All right.
I mean, and plus like Miami, I feel like people go down there. It's like it shouldn't be a hard place to play, but man,
90-degree heat and the humidity.
Yeah, stuff happens down there, man. The Hard Rock Stadium is a little something in there. So I like Singletary's prop here. DFS 5,600 is a weird spot, but 37.5 rushing yards. I think he will be able to break one, maybe like a 15-yarder. I think he'll be able to. I think it's 37.5, I believe. I haven't checked FanDuel, but I like the over on that. DFS, I think it's a decent game to stack up again. I mean, how do you not after last week? How do you not after watching the Bills play all season? Gabe Davis injury news is kind of huge. 6.3 seems pretty cheap for him. So want to monitor that. But, yeah, don't be afraid to stack it up. I don't know what to do with the Miami running backs. So TBD, I would be staying away from that because it looked like it was Mostert's job to lose last week. Who knows?
All right. Well, make sure you guys listen to Tyler there. Keep betting that number down. Let me keep getting some value.
The other thing spread too, it's like Miami's defense might not be like that juggernaut of a unit, but what have we watched them do for the last 2 years? They just randomly
with Brian Flores.
Well, no, they did it this year too because they did it week 1 and week 2. They just randomly put points.
Who did they do it against? The New England Patriots?
I mean, Buffalo beat up on Tennessee and the Rams, who were not proven as good this year.
Okay, the Rams are the Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, but they look like they got really old really fast.
They really do.
Because Buffalo made them look that way.
We'll see. Miami outright this week spread. We're getting surprises.
Oh, I can't wait. And this is good, right? We don't want to just agree all the time here. So one of us will be doing the victory lap on Monday. And I see in the chat our guy, JC Zargo, who's been putting out great content over.
Our guy Otter's comment on the chat or on the screen spread.
Are we allowed to? I don't want to get. We're just new to the channel. Am I going to get kicked off here? I won't read it out
They're not
loud.
playing well in the heat. They're going to be
Man.
busy all weekend. Sunday will roll around. They won't have any energy.
I would like. I see. For me, I love that NBA angle.
The other
Kurt,
thing,
you play football, right? What do you think? Are these guys going out Saturday night?
It's a business trip. In the NBA,
Right.
you have 80, in the NBA you have 81 games, 82, 81, 82. I can't something like that. But I mean, you have a lot more games where you can kind of fuck off a little bit. NFL, bro, that's business trip. They ain't doing shit. Hell no.
Let
let me ask you this though, Kirk, since you play football too. You played at Marshall, right? It's kind
No,
of
I played at State and I transferred to Marshall.
Okay, well, it's kind of like in the cooler areas. Like once it gets to like winter time, like it gets cold, right?
Yeah, it's freezing.
Well,
Yeah, I'm sure it's up north.
It's getting cold up on the East Coast now. Buffalo's not 90 degrees anymore.
Oh.
It's like 60 degrees. Now Sunday rolls around. You're down there in 90-degree humidity heat. These guys are going to gas a lot faster than normal.
Those defenders too, like the 2s and the 3s, if they got like the second string defensive tackle, if Oliver's out and down the D line, that heat change might struggle for them, especially if they're 2s or 3s. So that could affect them a little bit. I could see that for sure.
All right.
I think it'd be. I hope that the game.
I hope just guys keep betting it down, and I'm going to take Josh Allen over Tua. Okay, I mean that's just what I'm going to do here, right? And I'm fine with that. And you know what? If Tua beats me and I got Josh Allen in my corner, I will definitely give
Team's
you
got to
guys
lose some
thoughts
games,
on it.
Fred. This team ain't going 17-0, and if they do, they can kick me in the nuts with it. But they're losing some games before the end of the season.
All right, we'll see if it's week 3 or not. The Cincinnati Bengals. Boy, what a surprising 0-2 team the Bengals are, right? I can't get this team right, Tyler, right? Last year we said they were going to suck, and then everything that we said about this team last year, Joe Burrow being out, Chase not getting the reps in the preseason with Burrow, O-line not being able to hold up. It came true this season so far. Now they have the ultimate get-right game on the menu. Only way to be better if it's at home, but it is in New York. But they're playing a Jets team that's got to be high, coming off basically, a gift. Boy, I hope I get a Christmas gift like that. I mean, what a wonderful present that the Cleveland Browns ineptitude gave Joe Flacco and the New York Jets. I'm still bitter about that. But let's go ahead and give the Jets some credit. When you don't give Flacco pressure, he can get stuff done. And these receivers can get open in the secondary. Tyler, what are your thoughts? -6 for the Bengals, total 44.5, plus 203 for the Jets on the money line. Break down the game.
Man, I mean, everything's going to point you towards the Bengals here. It's their get-right spot. Jets off the emotional win that they stole from Cleveland. They should come in flat. But this quarterback for the Jets spread, he's seen the Cincinnati team a ton. He played in this division for years. Mind you, it's a little bit different of a team. He knows the feel going there. It's not going to really surprise him with this team. The wide receivers are going to light up Cincinnati's secondary. Like if Hendrickson and these guys can't get in and get the Flacco, like this could get ugly quick. Their 2 running backs also might have some success against Cincinnati also. And their pass defense with Sauce Gardner has been one of their better units in these first couple of weeks. If they put him on Chase and he slows him down a bit and they're getting to Burrow, this could be another ugly game for Cincinnati. They should pull out the win, but I'm not laying 6. Until this team proves to me that they're like back to where they were last year or even close to it, I'm not putting $1 on them.
Yeah, I mean, Kurt, he brought up Sauce Gardner, right? And that you got to think that guy's been dealing with pressure since the first day he stepped on the field. Because if your name is Sauce, you can't be sorry, right? I mean, like, talk about pressure right off the bat.
What about the other side? DJ Reed, highest rated cornerback in the NFL.
Yeah, they have 2 guys. Yeah, both sides are good.
Ooh, DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner, might be a nightmare for Burrow if he don't have time. Tell you what.
So here's the thing. I don't want to bet on the Jets. I'm fine staying away from this. Tyler seems to like the Jets. Where are you at on this game and the +6 or a crazy plus 203 money line?
I'm leaning the Jets with the points.
Wow.
I just think that I don't know. Like I said,
we know they shouldn't have covered last week, right? Like if Kareem Hunt stays in balance or Nick Chubb takes the knee.
But stuff like that happens. What if that? Like I've seen teams like that will just have that shit happen all year sometimes, and it's just like the year Auburn won the championship. Just like sometimes you just need luck, and you'll get luck all year. But and then on the other hand, it's like the Bengals want to come out and like really just step on someone's throat to let out some of the anger. But I don't know. It's a stay away mostly, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a game on Sunday because the cornerbacks are good, and I mean he has no time. that line, it all depends on how that line comes out and performs. And I'm pretty sure Collins didn't practice all week, so that can't be good. So it's just tough scene over there. I don't know. But as far as DFS goes, I think Elijah Moore's going to have a huge game.
Okay.
Nailing all his props as well. As usual, stack the Bengals. See what happens.
Who draws the Eli Apple coverage?
I was just now trying to look it up, and I could.
Garrett Wilson. I want Garrett Wilson in every lineup because he's going to torch that man.
I was looking for the chart, and I don't think the one that I see is not out yet. But if I find that, I'll relay it. But even if it is Wilson, I think Elijah Moore is due for a big game. I think he's going to go for like 6 catches, 80 yards, and a tutter. He's only 5K on DK. Don't mind that at all. Tyler Conklin's having a quietly good year. Got him in some best balls, so.
I was going to bring him up. I seen he got 13 targets last week, and if Uzomah doesn't play this week, he's going to get right around that again. So 3,800, I think he's a perfect tight end this week.
Especially if they're going to be playing from behind and having the pass. Love that. Yep. Flacco loves him.
All right. That's a great breakdown there. Thank you, guys. I'm fine staying off that game because I just don't want to bet the Jets. I mean, like, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals won by 20. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets won outright. So that will be a fun one to just have on TV, and I think I'll be fine not being invested in that game at all from a betting perspective. But like Kurt said, you cannot scratch it off when you're doing your DFS lineups. Let's talk about the Saints and the Panthers. -2.5 for the New Orleans Saints. Carolina Panthers giving away their plays, according to Dan Orlovsky. Of course, Matt Rule did a rebuttal to that, but the truest thing he said in that thing is when you're 0-2, they're going to come for you. And when you have the results that Matt Rule's had, they're going to side on the guy that's criticizing you, and it's going to be really tough to back it up. He gets a chance this week, but boy, that's a tough defense to go against, as indicated by this total of 41. Only +120 on the money line. I think I'd rather have the points here. That's kind of a weird correlation in my mind. I'll tell you what, this is another one that I'm having problems finding a side, Tyler, because it seems like the Saints is an easy play, but Jameis Winston doesn't look 100%. I don't know if he should be playing out there, and this could be a good opportunity. Yeah, so, I'll tell you what, I might almost like the Saints better if it was Dalton back there, because I didn't think he should be on the field in that last game. I don't know, Tyler. This is another one. It seems, you do the magic 8 ball. It's cloudy. That's how I feel about this one. Can you lead me to the light? Is there an angle that I'm missing here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to side with the Saints here just because I'm going to trust their defense. I think they're going to bottle up Baker. They were able to bottle up Brady last week. They had a great game week 1 also. Once they finally figured out what the Falcons were trying to do, they were able to slow them down. But as for betting this game pre-game spread, I'm going to wait because there's that trend out there with 0-2 teams coming out in week 3. And they look great. They're fighting for their lives. They go down to 0-3. Their season's pretty much over. Like, you got to really rally from 0-3 to get to the playoffs. And you got to win like 7 straight. So, here's the trend exactly. It says 0-2 teams straight up since 2010 are 55-40-1 against the spread. And 0-2 teams that are straight up and against the spread, which Carolina is, they are 37-23 against the spread in week 3. So it's like one of them spots where like do you trust history to back you up here, or do you trust the Saints defense? I'm going to wait live, and hopefully Carolina scores first spread, and I can get the Saints at like +110 to win the game. Because if Kamara plays, I think he's going to run all over him. Baker's going to make mistakes and give this ball back to the Saints. And after the noise they heard from the Tampa Bay defense about how Winston was going to give the ball away, he was going to give them the game, which he ended up doing. If he does play, I think this is one of the spots where he looks to bounce back and have a big game.
All right. One guy that maybe should get more action, right? Tyler talked about the 0-3 curse there. You got to think they feed McCaffrey. Kurt, what's your approach to the Saints and the Panthers?
I think the Saints defense just dominates them. I think the offense puts up like 2 or 3 touchdowns, and it ends up being enough. I mean, I think Panthers score like 10 points at most here. I think the defense comes out highly motivated, and I don't care who's behind center. I hope it's Jameis, and I hope he looks a lot healthier. But even if it is Dalton, I don't mind. I think they'll be able to move the ball. If Kamara's back, I think they'll be able to lean on him a lot, especially if it's Dalton. If Dalton's back, I'm firing up Kamara and I'm firing up Olave. I think they'll be cheap, and I think they can possibly do some damage, receptions, touchdowns, stuff like that. McCaffrey, I don't know where I'm at with him. Didn't play much last week, But you got to think at home, the game they have to win, give the guy the rock as much as possible. But Baker's just not dumping it off. McCaffrey needs those dump offs. He needs them, and Baker's just not doing it. Baker's running for like 1 yard losses. It's like, what are you doing, dude? So wait and see approach on McCaffrey. Might be on and might be off. That's about it. I mean, don't play a lot of guys in this game. It's not going to be great. I love the under.
Yeah, I agree with you there on the under. If I had to play anything there, under 41 looks good because I can see either team laying the dead here on offense. The Detroit Lions taking a little money as well. They're now plus 5.5 in Minnesota, taking on the Vikings. Total 52.5. Detroit once again plus 203, like those Jets, even though you're getting a half less a point there. So here we go. Jared Goff going to Minnesota. I'll tell you what, I kind of like Minnesota in the bounce back spot here. Tyler, a quick look, our playbook available on runpuresports.com, promo code NFL15. The numbers really like the Vikings as well. I think this was a great bounce back spot. And I know that, especially with the small data size, right, we can't use numbers too much, but I think that this was a nice spot where I really like having the model help me out with the idea that as bad as Minnesota looked last Monday, let's just get that out of their mind and let's just objectively look. They still have some of the best offensive weapons in the NFL. They have this new coach that we were all excited about after week 1, and they have at least an average defense. Seems to me back at home, back in the comfortable time slot. We're going to see a lot of Dalvin Cook. We're going to see a lot of Justin Jefferson. They're going to put up a lot of points. I like the Vikings to cover. I like the Vikings team total over. What are your thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. Definitely on the Vikings. First sentence in that playbook spread. Kirk Cousins back in his comfort zone of 1 p.m. on a Sunday. So we're going to see the normal Kirk Cousins playing his game here, not like we've seen on Monday. Jefferson should be wide open because there's not a guy named Darius Slay just clamping him down on the other side. So Jeff Okudah's not doing that. Jefferson should go for 100+ here. But instead of laying that 6 spread, I'm going to a bet that worked out for us a lot in games last week. Give me Jefferson to score a touchdown and Minnesota win the game at plus 115. I think that's the best way to bet. Throw the 6 points out the window because Detroit has played this Vikings team tough the last few years. So that's my bet for this game. Just touchdown and win.
All right. Can't argue with that. Kurt, we both seem to like the Vikings. Is there any love for you for the Lions? Have you did you fire up some hard knocks right before we came on the show? Are you ready to back this Detroit Lions team?
I watched that as soon as the episodes drop. Come on now. I'm a football diehard. I got to watch that 10 p.m. Tuesday. But
there we go.
I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go, sorry, not the opposite way. I'm going to go the same way. I'm going to go Thielen touchdown Vikings to win. I think Thielen's due for a touchdown. I think
they're like plus 200.
No, I've not seen it yet, and I didn't have the idea until he brought it up. I think I was going to do Thielen for DraftKings, and that kind of correlates too. So I would like to know what the odds are because I'm going to hit it after the show.
Plus 220 on FanDuel.
Love that. Yeah. I think it's going to be Jefferson long bomb comes out for a spell snap, and then Thielen gets a 7-yard toucher.
To be honest, Minnesota could hit this total pretty close to on their own. Total's 52.5. Our numbers like the under, Tyler, but this is so I like using the model to let me know not to overreact to how bad the Vikings looked. I don't know if I want to take the under. Now, I'm not betting the over, but I can understand. Although the market does like the under as well, Tyler, it's gone down a half a point since we spoke about this game on Tuesday. So there we are. Any more props for you on this one, Tyler? Or do you want to move on to one of my favorite plays of the week?
No, we can jump on to the next game. I think I know which one this is, too.
I'm doing it again. It's the same idea, but I think this is even better, Tyler. Have you seen the meme where the guy making the trade and his hands like this and says, I receive, you receive?
Yeah.
So it's like, I receive Patrick Mahomes. You receive Matt Ryan and 5 points. What would you rather have? Give me the Chiefs. What do you think?
Yeah, give me the MVP of the league this year who's going to win it in the end. Probably going to win Super Bowl MVP too, because I think that's what they're going to end up doing at the end. I don't know why this number's going the other way. It has to be that 0-2 trend that everyone's just trying to back the Colts here. The Colts have beaten this team not a few times in the last couple of years, but they showed the blueprint the 1 year. Just run the ball on their throat, keep the defense on the sideline. They have the path to doing that here with Jonathan Taylor, but I don't think they're smart enough to do it after 2 weeks. It's almost like they're just trying to get Matt Ryan to win them games. And then once it's too far gone, they're like, all right, Jonathan Taylor, you got to try and bring us back into this game. So I'm going to get the Chiefs here. The Colts are going to play this zone defense. Mahomes over 2.5 passing touchdowns. I think he throws 3 by halftime. I won't be surprised if they hang 40 right here, spread.
Yeah, I love it. I think one of the reasons the number is going down is Shaquille Leonard and Michael Pittman will be back in the lineup for the Colts. What do you think, Kurt? Is that going to turn their season around? Is that the problem? Was it just that they didn't have Shaq Leonard playing?
Those are like their two most important players. I mean, besides Taylor, like Leonard's everything in this defense. I don't know what the record is without him, but it's got to be bad.
Is he everything to the pass defense though, or the run defense? Because
everything.
Andy Reid's going to drop back like 70% of the time, right?
He's good in zone too. So I mean, I think he's just the heart and soul of that whole defense. Obviously, he can't lift up the cornerbacks playing shit and getting burnt, but like he's the captain of that defense. He's the heart and soul of the defense. Then Pittman is about the only receiver worth a shit on that team. So those are two massive
pretty ugly
guys.
last week, huh?
Oh, Dolan had a good game, but I think it was just from volume, not from him actually being skilled. So I think those are two huge key pieces back. They're at home, and the fans are probably going to come out one last time and be like, hey, if we can beat the Chiefs, we can get our season right. Let's come out. Let's rock this place. They hurt me last week and badly because I had a lot of Taylor too. But I'm going right back to the Colts, baby. Give me the points.
You're doing the – so I'm doing the I receive meme. You're doing the Michael Scott meme. I'm ready to be hurt again. Unbelievable.
Cue up the message at like 1:45 I'm getting from Kurt where he's snapping out about Jonathan Taylor having 1 carry for -3.
All right. Well,
I did.
I'll be looking forward to receiving that too. This is a question probably more for you, Tyler, since we're fading this team. Is Frank Reich just an overrated head coach? My answer is no, that they've given him nothing to work with from the quarterback position, and that I don't know why. I said this earlier. Chris Ballard's team constructions, like if you went over to someone's house and the whole house was just spotless, like museum clean, but then you walk in the kitchen and they haven't done their dishes for 3 weeks and there's mold and there's pans everywhere, right? And nothing's put away. That's how he's designed this roster. So I would say no, he's not. I think it's tough with those quarterbacks. Tyler, what do you think?
Yes and no. Just because he's in a soft division, you should be winning these games, regardless if it's Matt Ryan at quarterback or even Sam Ehlinger, the backup. Like, your roster's pretty good. You should be able to put these games together. So I'm a little bit in the middle on that. I'm torn. I do think he's the first coach fired this year, though.
Interesting. Well, yeah, this loss is going to be tough for that team. Kurt, what are your thoughts on Frank Reich?
There's no chance he gets fired before freaking Matt Rule shitty ass. You know that's a damn lie. Matt Rule is the worst.
Matt Rule was getting fired, though. Wouldn't they have fired him already?
I don't know.
Only week 2. We won in 2 weeks.
He's 1-10 in college. He was 1-10 versus ranked opponents. I saw that the other day. I'm like, this guy just sucks, dude. Like, get him out of the league. Like,
they gave the wrong guy the head coaching job when they brought those guys in 2 years ago.
Wait, you love Brady, huh? You like Joe Brady like I like Tom.
When you run the Saints offense for years, spread, and Drew Brees looks like a tank, and then LSU poaches him to the point where Sean Payton's flipping his desk because he didn't want to lose his staff member, and then LSU turns into the greatest football team in college football history in 1 year. I'd want that guy as my head coach over some guy that coached Baylor.
You make a good argument. Tough to argue there. Maybe we'll get Tomlin and Brady on the same staff one day, and it'll be the happiest moment of our lives. Let's talk about my favorite team. Another huge disappointment. The Las Vegas Raiders, who could not get it done against the Arizona Cardinals. Tyler, this Raiders defense is so bad they actually made Kyler Murray look good. Me and Hoop were in hell watching that. Unbelievable. All our takes going up in flames. All our takes in shambles as Kyler Murray gets it done. Now they go from going against one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league to like he's almost a statue, right? He's like Michelangelo's almost done carving the Tannehill statue. He's got a little bit of mobility still. But never been the most mobile player. Derrick Henry, maybe is it time finally done? For like the last 3 or 4 years, people thought, no one could overcome this workload. It's been legendary what he's done coming off that. Every other player that's ever had as many carries as him completely falls off the next season. He's been able to avoid it for like 3 seasons, but his time might be here. From what I've heard, people who watch tape saying he's not looking as explosive as he used to. Still, man, it's tough to get behind this Raiders team. I'll tell you what, Vrabel seems like it's a huge advantage here, right? If I was going to point to any place where there's like the biggest mismatch in my mind. It might be Vrabel over Josh McDaniels. If Hackett wasn't so bad, I think McDaniels would be getting a lot more attention because he was really bad in Denver, and he hasn't looked good so far as far as 2 winnable games. And Kurt, you talked about it, right? When these games aren't real close losses, a lot of times come down on the coaching staff. McDaniels gets a pass because they can't even get the play in right in Denver here. I haven't bet it. I might just be being like pissed off because my team let me down so much last week, Tyler. But I kind of think that I'm surprised that Tennessee's getting points here. I think you're going to have a really good defense on the Tennessee side of the field, and I think that Raiders defense might still be pretty bad. What are your thoughts here? Are you going to talk me off the ledge and convince me that Derek Carr is more than just a Honda Accord?
Yeah, I'm going to walk out to the cliff edge. I'm going to turn you around and say the car's back over there. Spread, get back in it because you missed the biggest disadvantage on the field outside of coaching.
What's that?
Tennessee's secondary stinks. They're ranked like 28th or 29th. They're missing multiple starters in that secondary. What do you think Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, and anybody else running routes for the Raiders are going to do?
The same thing they should have done against Arizona.
Not sure if we're going to see our guy Hunter Renfrow because he got hit by a missile at the end of that game. Yeah, Matt Collins. He's going to be wide open spread. Devontae Adams had 2 catches last week. Incoming 13-target, 2-touchdown game right here. Derrick Henry, like I said in the previews before the season started, spread, these big guys, when they get foot injuries, it's normally the first chink in their armor, and that's the end of it. He doesn't look the same, and there's nothing else on that offense you have to worry about except for him. You stack the box. If these receivers beat you, so be it. You stop him, you stop the Titans. As long as Carr gets a little bit of time to get these balls to the receiver, they're going to win this game easily. Give me the Raiders. Out of all the 0-2 teams, they're the best one. Like, if you had to pick one of the 0-2 teams and say, this team can get to the playoffs in the end, I'm picking the Raiders every time.
Are you even in that terrible division?
Yeah, I'm picking the Raiders.
No, I'll pick. Let me go look through. Who else is 0-2?
Definitely the Raiders.
Not Atlanta and Carolina. Raiders. I would say Tennessee. So I guess it'll come. No, Cincinnati.
No.
Cincinnati's got a better chance than the Raiders.
They're both in the same spot. Neither team's winning their division. So you got to get a wild card spot.
I don't know. They might. They're only 0-2. No one's 3-0 in that division.
Baltimore's got the softest schedule in that division. They're going to slowly start to walk away with that division.
I mean, they're already on college level players to begin with. I like Cincinnati better than the Raiders. Chat, let us know what you think. And Kurt, let us know. Am I just too jilted from loving the Raiders and having them do me wrong?
I think the Titans stink. I had to be swayed one last week against Buffalo. They put up a fight. I think they just stink. I think Henry's decline was going to be straight down. I was hoping it would kind of be like this, but no, I think it's going to be straight down. Offensive line's going to give him no help. Taylor Lewan probably going to be out again this week. Not sure that's looking too good. I just don't think they can run the ball. I think Henry's declined with the offensive line. It's like, what else can they do?
Terrible defense. Okay, I'll tell you one thing as a Raiders fan. If Perryman's out, I like the Titans. They haven't been able to stop the run without him, so we'll have to wait on that one too. So we'll see how that one goes. Keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt your breakdown. I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. That's about all I was saying. I think you can attack the secondary. I think Adams is prime bounce back candidate. Hopefully, little bit of people kind of have a bad taste in their mouth from last week. I certainly won't. I faded him last week. I faded him and Barkley, so I had a good week despite Taylor and someone else hurt me, but. I was off the bad chalk, so I'm going to go right back to Adams here. Love him for a big game. Waller, love him. Renfrow, I hope Renfrow plays because I don't want to have to consider Matt Collins because I don't think he's that good of a player. But, man, Tennessee's just – that's a tough scene. I'm taking Raiders. I'm probably taking an alternate spread of like 7.5 or 6.5, even though they're on the road. I think the Raiders win by a touchdown.
I guess if you want to take a side, that's almost the best way to do it.
What do you think about the total spread 45.5? I kind of lean over. I think the Raiders put up a ton of points, and I think if the Raiders defense does lose Perryman, Tennessee should get into the 17 to 24 range.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
I could see that. So, yeah, probably like the over there as well. I'll fine just be watching that game and just throwing stuff at my wall and not having any money on it. The Philadelphia Eagles, who looked fantastic This one is a huge line move, right? You could have got this 3.5 last week, but to a certain extent, it makes sense. On one side, you have a Commanders team that could not beat the Lions, and then boy, did the Eagles look good. And if Darius Slay can shut down Justin Jefferson, you got to think he's going to be able to do so against Terry McLaurin. Maybe that opens up some opportunities for super rookie Jahan Dotson, who's looking like a great pick so far. Commanders out to 6.5. If you like Washington, you might as well wait. It seems like everybody's going to keep betting Philly. Normally a divisional dog getting plus 6.5 at home, I'd be all over it. I'm fine staying away though. Lean Philly. Tyler, when we did the playbook, these numbers came out to exactly what the side and the total were at the time. So I guess that you get a half point of value there if you were to take the Commanders. I'm fine not betting on Carson Wentz though against his old team for some reason. I don't think he's going to do that well. What do you think, Tyler?
No, he's going to look similar to how Kirk Cousins looked on Monday night. This defensive line is going to push everyone back right into his face, and he's going to panic. The only thing he's going to do a little different is he might try and run for a few yards instead of just lobbing up jump balls to Darius Slay. But the other thing I was looking at in this game too, Kirk, I don't know if you could find the stat here. I'm having troubles finding it. I believe it's Devontae Smith that runs the most routes for this team out of the slot. Not sure if it's Quez Watkins. Whichever guy it is, if it's A.J. Brown, I want everything to do with that guy this week because Washington, for the first 2 weeks, when these guys drop into the slot, have tried to cover them with linebackers. Christian Kirk went for 100+. Amon St. Brown ate him up last week. Whichever one of these guys is in the slot is going to score a touchdown, is going to go over his receiving yards and over his longest reception because dude's going to be wide open down the field at some point. So definitely want to look at those. I'm going to side with Philly here on the side, but it's 6.5 spread. Already know what we're doing with that instead of laying the 6.5. Just tease that down to a half a point, let Philly come in, do the job, win the game. And
I did that with the Bengals last week.
That's the Bengals, though. This is the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, last year, if you were to say that, right?
You're backing an LSU quarterback instead of an Alabama one.
Okay, that's probably the best argument you made. Kurt, what do you think of the Eagles and the Commandos?
I mean, everything Tyler said, I think this defense is going to make Wentz finally have a terrible game. He's back-to-back 30-point fantasy games. I think he comes back to life here. Eagles defense 2,900 on DraftKings. Usually don't love playing defense on the road, but 2,900, I think they're going to put up a good score. For Philly, going right back to Brown, I don't think he runs the majority of the routes in the slot, but I think he does run a little, and I think Brown's going to have a bounce-back game against this Commanders team. Almost said Redskins. Whoopsie. But Dotson, one thing to note is Dotson led the Commanders in routes ran last week and snaps. So that's definitely something to monitor. The rookie is looking real good. They're impressed. This whole receiving core is solid, but across from him is pretty solid as well. So give me the Eagles. Give me some Brown and give me some Eagles D. Don't mess with the running backs. And I like Gibson for some dump offs this week as well, since I think he'll be under pressure a lot.
I love that Gibson call with how Philly's secondary just was able to bottle up Justin Jefferson and Thielen. They're going to do the same thing right here, which probably leads to a lot of dump offs to Gibson.
Logan Thomas as well.
Yep.
The schedule's so imbalanced. We're still in the morning. There's only 3 afternoon games. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Houston Texans +3 in Chicago taking on the Bears. Total of 39. I like Houston. I don't really have much on this handicap, but I don't know, man. It seems like other than quarterback, they've just developed a better roster in Houston than Chicago, which might have one of the worst rosters in the league.
Is the quarterback spot maybe like
I like Fields. You also? Don't. Just don't look at what school he went to.
Spread, he threw for like 65 yards yesterday or last Sunday. Quarterbacks aren't supposed to do that. You're supposed to throw the ball for at least 100.
They only let him pass like 12 times.
You still got to get over 100.
I know. That's bad.
All right. I like Houston. What do you think there, Kurt?
I'm going Bears. I think the Bears are just – I kind of like them. I don't think they're that bad. I mean, like last week I was on the show. I said they could probably fight back with Green Bay, but they didn't. The offense is just terrible. I think they need to kind of unlock a little bit more and trust Fields a little bit more. I know he threw a pick when they actually started passing, but unlock it from the get-go.
He has worse receivers than New England, though, right?
Yeah, it's super bad. I think they got to get super creative with the play calling. And I think David Montgomery, the chalk running back this week. One thing about – I know I came on here and said don't play Chalk Barkley last week, and I don't have the history to back this up, but I feel like when Montgomery is chalk versus Barkley when he's chalk. Barkley's never good when he's chalk. Montgomery, I'm pretty sure, crushes his chalk. So I have no issue playing Montgomery chalk even in this shit game. I always play some Texans receivers, but give me the Bears. Give me Montgomery rushing for over 100 yards and a tutter.
All right. Right now I'm doing my projections. I got over 50% on Rex Burkhead ownership. Your thoughts?
I'm dead inside. Hey, how about last week? How about Pierce? They actually gave Pierce a big load. He looked great. And then Lovey came out and talked about how, yes, love that, because they came out and said, Lovey said everyone needs to play like Pierce. He plays a lot of fire. So give me Pierce 5K. I like both the running backs in the spot. I wouldn't play them together. That feels like just way too low of a total. But I have not mind setting a rule of like having one of these guys in the lineup, because whichever team wins, that running back will probably have a great day.
If you do that, you can get away with this being the only player from the game, though, right? I mean, there's no reason to run this back, right?
I love having a Texans receiver. Like I'm obsessed with playing Nico Collins. So I think I'm finally done with that. And Cook is due for a big game that tilts everyone's face off. He's down at 58, so I don't mind a little Montgomery and Cook's little stack for a shit game. That's not terrible.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right. A different way to look at it. All right. Appreciate that. Let's go to the afternoon game. I can't believe
I don't get to give my take on the bad game of the week.
Did I not give it to you? I'm sorry.
No.
Bad hosting on my part.
I got to break the tie also.
I'm fasting right now, Tyler. I'm
Houston,
trying to get down below 190.
Yeah, he's on Chicago. You're on Houston. This reminds me of one of them NBA game spread where it's like OKC versus Houston.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys just ball this game up, throw it away. I think Houston just steamrolls them right here.
Wow.
I think they have a better quarterback, better defense, better coach. They're playing motivated.
Better coach.
Yes.
Well,
you like Eberflus?
Yeah, he's terrible too, but Lovey's
not the best coach.
I mean,
he's got the guys motivated.
Is like unknown. How do you coach that roster?
I don't know. He sucked it out.
Tomlin can make that roster win.
Yeah, it's like Chicago, until they show me that they are physically trying to win football games with how they're building this team, which doesn't look like they are, I'm going to go against them. And I'm going to get an underdog here. What would you say,
Kurt? It's been so many years since he coached there, but I forgot this is a revenge game for Lovey.
Yeah, I might be on your side now. Game for Lovey. He's going to pound them right into the ground. If this Cook's receptions is set at 4.5 right now, it's minus 165.
Hammer.
Just let it get up to 5.5 plus money. The dude got double-digit targets in both weeks, week 1 and week 2. Just like you said, he's due for an explosion. Chicago has no corners. This dude's catching 8 balls on Sunday.
8 for 140 and a tutter.
Yep. Davis Mills over 1.5 passing touchdowns, plus 165. Love that also. And this Houston team creates some turnover spread. Justin Fields over a half an interception, minus 125.
I like that.
Oh, there we go. I love those interception props. All right, let's get back to it. I'm going to go out of order, though, just so I can leave the best game for last. Let's talk about the Falcons and the Seahawks. This line opened wrong, but it's moved. I was surprised to see the Falcons getting so many points. And we talked about it, Tyler, and this was off the air, so I'll let everyone know kind of what my idea was. Do you think it was just travel-based? I mean, Atlanta, Seattle is one of the biggest ones. But then I found out they never stayed in LA. So it's changed since we've talked about it. I'm wondering if everyone else found out and that's what moved the line, or if people just realized this was a bad number. But, boy, I mean, I guess wide receivers, Seattle's better, but the rest of the offense, it feels like the Falcons have a better line. I like Mariota more as a quarterback. They have better running backs, probably a better tight end. And the defenses at this point are a wash because I don't think Seattle's that good defensively, so it's not like Atlanta has to do that much to match up. I also like the situation with the fact that they did stay in town. Gives it kind of a training camp feel, right, where all the guys get together. They fought hard against the Rams. I like the Falcons, Tyler. What do you think?
I got to go opposite of you here, spread. I know I talked about them last week, and this is going to be a team I think covers a bunch of spreads. They're going to be that underdog that just a bunch of teams have troubles with. But when I was saying that, I was saying it as maybe like an 8 to 10 point dog, not in a pick 'em. In Seattle with this home field advantage.
I mean, are you just betting the home team though? Because what football?
That's pretty much what it is. And I don't think they have a corner that can cover DK. They're just going to help DK with the ball, even if it's little screens and everything. He should just eat this team up. Rashad Penny, if they do get the lead, they're just going to run Penny all game.
Kenneth Walker's back.
Oh, yeah, Walker's back also. So now they have multiple running backs to run at him spread. I'm going to take Seattle here. I think they just pull off the win. It's going to be an ugly game. I'm not rushing to bet this one. Similar, like I would rush to bet Houston. I'm not rushing to bet Seattle here.
I can't believe you're rushing to bet Houston, but this is fantastic knowledge. Great breakdown brought to you by Run Pure Sports. Use that promo code NFL15 if you're already a member. Use that promo code GetBets. Kurt, Falcons in Seattle. Will they be sleepless tonight? Will they be partying like they would be in Miami? Or are they going to treat this like the business trip and get care of business, get it done? What do you think?
I'm going Seahawks for the same reason. I think I think they're about equal teams. So give me one of the hardest places.
Are they really equal?
I mean, Atlanta's obviously offense is a lot better, but
maybe I like Mariota more than most because I was a big Ducks fan that year.
I actually like him I still like their offensive pieces for DFS this week. I just think that Seahawks kind of went late. That's my theory. Luckily last week I had like 70% Drake London. It was kind of a user error, but he went off for me, so I love that guy.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
user error.
5,200. I was like, I'm not gonna mess with it. Screw it. 70% Drake London. Let's go. So that was nice. I'm not leaving. I'm playing Kyle Pitts. I'm doing his props. I don't care if I lose every dime. And the thing is, like, the guy's so good that when I lose, I'm like, he tried. It's not his fault. So
listen, Kirk, I told Title this. When this is when he's gonna explode. I got the blueprint for this. Just wait for Drake London to have a couple more good games to where teams have to look away from Pitts and game plan that way. And all of a sudden, there goes Pitts down the seam for 100-some yards and 2 touchdowns.
You don't think last week was enough? I mean, the guy, London dominated. I think last week.
I think it's going to take a couple weeks of that, of just being like, let's see if he still got it. Like, oh, he actually is legit. Like, now we have to game plan for this guy a bit more. I think that's when Pitts actually shows up.
Love it, but I think it's this week, damn it. Kyle Pitts, let's go.
What about Patterson when I'm looking at my DFS lineup? What do you think, Kurt?
I like I called last week, Tyler Algier being active, I said it was going to hurt him. The guy, he only had 10 carries. Tyler Algier had I don't know how many snaps, but it seemed like he was in there a lot. I actually looked at betting his anytime touchdown today because I think they're going to use him on the goal line. I'm torn on Patterson. I think I'm just going to be off here because I
kind of take him out the player pool or just underweight?
He might be out of the player pool like last week.
Wow. All right.
Just because I don't think he's gonna get the goal line carries anymore either. So he's gonna have to break. He's gonna have to break one, or he's gonna have to catch 10 passes. I don't see either happening. He's a tough guy to fade, I have to say.
Every week, DraftKings puts up these weekly specials on games. Usually, just scroll right past them. I just give them a look to see what they are. Usually, they're just way too crazy. Drake London and DK Metcalf 80+ receiving yards each, 8-1. That one's not out of the realm of
Say that one more time.
Both receivers, Drake London and DK Metcalf, both have to cross 80+ yards.
And what do you get?
8-1.
Oh, that should be like 5-1 or 4-1.
That's a decent one, I think. In a game where I think we could see a bit more passing than people think, both those guys could get close to 100.
All right.
I kind of like that.
And the other bet, I haven't found it yet. I'm still searching for it. It might not even be up yet. I want to find a halftime, full-time bet on this game. Atlanta to win the first half, Seattle to take the game.
Yes, that's kind of that was my theory. That's why I like the
offense. They stayed on the West Coast, like you said, spread. They might come into this game and they just hit the ground running. They go out and get like a 10-0 lead. And Seattle just slowly chips away at it until they win the game 17-10.
All right, that's a great breakdown. So obviously you like the under as well. Guys, you're watching Talking Touchdowns, brought to you by runpuresports.com. Give us the like, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you head over to runpuresports.com. Check out all the great content we have to offer. The Rams beat the Falcons, but they didn't cover. The Cardinals ripped my heart out and ruined the football watching party I was having with my buddies, a bunch of Raiders fans. Boy, it was a rough ride home, Tyler. But now the Cardinals get a chance to do it at home against the defending Super Bowl champion, who I might add from earlier, you don't rate that highly. I'm on the opposite side. I think this is get back time. We saw what happened last year when these teams met up in the playoffs. I expect more of the same. I expect the Rams to get right. And when you almost blow a lead, maybe a little more conscientious if they do build a lead in this game. Looks more like the playoff game. Can Kyler get it done against Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey? What are your thoughts on the Cardinals and the Rams, Tyler?
Yeah, might have called this team old spread. I think they're not as good as they were last year. But, I mean, this is the perfect spot to back them after the Cardinals stole that win against your team. They shouldn't have won that game in the first place. They shouldn't even have been involved in it at the end. Now they're going to come in here flat. The Rams are going to put the pressure on Kyler Murray. Ramsey's going to be all over Marquise Brown. Yeah, I like the Rams here spread. And at the shorter number 2, like, I think they smash them here. Kurt was talking about alt lines earlier. I wouldn't hate alting this up to like 7.5 or maybe even 9.5. And they just blow this team out.
All right, Kurt, we both love the Rams. Full disclosure, we've been low on the Cardinals since last year's season previews, right? Tyler, we've never really liked this team, this coaching staff. What are your thoughts on the Cardinals and the Rams?
Cooper Kupp, anytime touchdown, LA Rams to win, plus 115.
That's easy.
I mean,
that's easy.
Cooper Kupp's going to score every game.
Yeah.
It's insane. I agree. I think the Rams dominate. Cardinals stole one last week. Kupp's just, and even in fantasy, like I just don't know how you don't keep playing him until he has a bad game. It's crazy. He gets 15 targets a game. He was on pace for like 20 targets last week in the first half. I'm just like, and that was with Robinson actually being involved this week. And the Cardinals can't stop a cold. So sign me up for another Cooper Kupp game. Give me the Rams. Avoid the backfield still.
All right, let's go to the marquee matchup. We will be on Fox. The Green Bay Packers are +1 or +106 on the money line in Tampa, taking on the Buccaneers with a total of 41.5. I like the Buccaneers, Tyler, but I'm fine not betting this game or doing the deal where whoever gets down first. Although, to be fair, I don't know if I would want it if Green Bay got down first. My ideal would be Aaron Rodgers gets a touchdown on the open drive and I can get Tampa Bay live right off the bat. But I do like the Buccaneers here. What are your thoughts, Tyler?
I'm with you here on the Bucs. I'm pulling up now because with these two defenses on the field, like Green Bay's defense is solid. We know what Tampa Bay's defense is. They're showing 7-mile-an-hour winds, 88 degrees on Sunday. With these two defenses on the field, everyone's going to bet the under spread. Mm-hmm. What do we usually see when these games with these defenses? They might not score touchdowns, but they're kicking
but
field
they
goals,
get turnovers, right? And they give you great field position.
And they're kicking a ton of field goals. Mason Crosby over 1.5 field goals, -120. Ryan Suckup over 1.5 field goals, -105. I think you easily see both of those hit in this game. Brady's going to move the ball up and down the field with these just patched up receiving core and Fournette. But once they get in these tight field positions in the red zone, I think that's where you see them start to get stuffed. Same thing on the Green Bay side. They'll be able to move the ball up and down the field. They get down there, Tampa Bay probably stuffs them. Now they're settling for 3. So I'm just going to focus in on both those kicker props, and that's how I'm going to go with this one. But if you had to pin me down for a side, give me Tampa Bay. Green Bay's dealing with a bunch of injuries in the wide receiver room. I think they said Watkins is out. Lazard's questionable. Christian Watson's also questionable. The only healthy guy in that room is Dubes. So, I mean, give me Tampa Bay here, but this kicker props are definitely the way to go for me.
Man, he's got to get himself a witch that can conjure up a wide receiver there, man. Rough goings for Aaron Rodgers.
His former coach is using the one as a hitman last week.
What are you talking about?
Bruce Arians. Mike Evans was walking to the sideline, and Bruce Arians and Marshawn Lattimore are going back and forth. And then he turns away from Lattimore and looks at Evans, and you see him mouth something, and Evans spins around and runs full speed at Lattimore. He let the dog off the leash spread and just attacked him. And he lost his wide receiver for a week now.
All right, yeah. I wonder, and of course, they are still dealing with some injuries there. Kurt, how do you approach this game? Everyone's going to be watching it. It's definitely, if you're just a fan, this is the game of the afternoon. Probably most of the people watching are going to want to put some money on it. Where would you suggest that they bet?
I got the lock of the week for them right here, ready to go.
I love it. Let's hear it.
All right. I think the Packers receiving room is a lot more healthier than the Bucs, so I think everyone's going to be active for the Packers, even though they're all very questionable right now. I think Lazard plays, which is huge. And I think he gets through the whole game without aggravating that leg. So, and then the Bucs on the other side, without Godwin, without Evans, I think we're going to be in trouble. They're going to key on Fournette. I'm not worried. I think Julio's banged up. So I really think the Packers, they've been getting it from us the past 2 or 3 years in the playoffs, regular season. I think they're going to come in town, and they got something for us. Packers are going to win this game. Give me Romeo Doubs. Give me even Lazard if he plays, even though they're priced up. I like the thought of it going over as well. I think that this is a prime spot. It's going to go under. I think the Packers help the over here. I think they kind of expose our secondary a little bit. It'll be the hardest test our secondary has had all year, in my opinion. Give me the Packers. Give me the receivers. Let's go. I hate to say it, but the Bucs will be. We can lose one game and bounce back. I'm not worried about it.
When you're looking at these receivers, obviously none of them too high priced for the Green Bay side. How are you approaching that when you're building your lineups?
So, like I said, my favorite cheap receiver is Romeo Doubs. I looked at him earlier this week. He was in my first lineup. Yeah, he's only 3,800. I mean, he's going to get like at least 6 targets. I wouldn't be surprised if he scores. Like I said, our secondary has been kind of babied all year. Last week we had Jameis, who was hurting, and then week 1 we had Dak, who got hurt, and we had CeeDee Lamb. They weren't in any rhythm at all. I think we might get exposed here. I like Robert Tonyan, only 3,700. Don't mind them too. And then Lazard, if he's cleared and fully healthy, I don't mind paying $6K for him. It's kind of a GPP dart. But those are my 2 spots, Dobbs and Tonyan.
All right. Anything more on this high-profile game, Tyler?
Nope, that's it for me on this one. Just going to focus on the kicker props there. I just think the defense is slow.
I love that way to approach that game. I mean, 30 years ago, you could have never done that. You had to pick a side or you had to pick a total. I mean, the fact that you could just be betting for field goals here, it's a whole new world, as one of my favorite mermaids used to sing. San Francisco 49ers are now laying 1 in Denver, taking on the Broncos.
You missed the game on the 425 slate. It probably doesn't have it lined on your book.
Oh, that's why. I thought there was.
Took it off because Herbert.
Yeah, it's the Chargers and the Jaguars. Herbert is not going to be playing from what I'm reading right now. That's why the line's not on there. Do you have a line for it, Tyler?
All the way down to -3, total 42.5.
God,
I hate
they're going to
that.
freaking run Chase Daniel. I wish Easton Stick got the nod.
Is it for sure?
Oh, man.
Because
The line says it's for sure, and the reports that I've seen says it's for sure.
I'm scrolling back through Underdog now on Twitter to see where his report is. Because he's listed questionable as of 27 minutes ago. And there's no further update from there. However, Keenan Allen 50-50 for week 3. Their starting center is doubtful. J.C. Jackson is also doubtful.
Jesus Christ.
Jags money line spread.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Coming from the
It just seems like the easiest bet of the week.
Yeah, it's probably a stay away from me altogether, but
You know, I always talk about like you throw well, not always, but I was talking earlier about throwing Miami's that one quarter out. Go back the last 2 or 3 years and throw away the Jaguars numbers against the Colts.
just throw away
They're the worst
all the Jag
franchise.
seasons except for that one where they got to the AFC Championship game.
yeah.
I mean, it's just they only do good against the Colts, so I don't want to upgrade them too much over a win over a team that they always beat, regardless of how good.
And they look good week
they are.
1.
They lost to the Commandos.
They held the lead until the last minute of the game.
That one hurt me too. I bet Jacksonville. What do you think, Kurt?
I think it's a stay away, but I think the Jags are super trappy here. I mean,
Right? Doesn't it seem
like
like
if
everyone's
Keenan
just
Allen
gonna-
plays, Chase Daniel's terrible, but like he's still got some crazy weapons there, like Williams, Allen, Eckler. That's
the
enough.
pass
weapons.
rush is still going to be ridiculous.
Exactly. I think it's very trappy, but I would even say screw it. Give me Chase Daniel. Give me the points.
So
Let's go.
speaking of Eckler, let's say Chase Daniel does play, and I'm under the assumption that that's going to be the case. Eckler's a pretty expensive guy. I talked about him on the Old Guys pod as a guy that I was targeting. Now I'm fine crossing him off my list. Do you think that's an overreaction?
I think he actually gets more catches. I think even
More?
more, baby.
What if
Well, that's
what
why
if
I love
that's,
doing this
what if
show.
that
I wouldn't
starting
have thought
center is
that.
also out? Do you still want Eckler?
I mean, I don't really want Eckler for his rushing yards. He's only going to rush for 40 yards, but I think Daniel is going to not throw down the field as much as Herbert, so that's going to lead to more dump offs and more short passes. So that's why I think you could have like the screen passes, stuff like that, and not to mention the fact that he could break one even with the backup center because it's Jacksonville.
Yeah, that is true.
How much does the center being out hurt? I mean, it's way
That's
more
true.
than a guard or a tackle, right?
It's gotta
That's
hurt
good.
real bad when instead of just like, you lose the quarterback for a game, it's like, all right, the center's the other guy that's probably like holding down this offensive line while we put this patch quarterback in. Now both guys are gone.
It probably helps that Daniel and him probably have a repertoire from preseason. If
Oh,
it's the
that's
backup
good.
center,
That also is
Daniel.
true. Yeah,
That's
they're
a good
probably
point.
practicing together.
That's a really good point. I
Don't
like
worry
that
about any
point
botch
there.
snaps.
Yeah.
So you'll have that, but I think it's trappy. I think the Chargers still win. I might bet it actually. I was gonna stay away, but I might bet the Chargers.
Imagine if you get 3 now and then Herbert goes out there. How happy you're going to be.
I
Like
honestly,
50%
if he's
Herbert.
as banged up as they say he is, I'd be a little more worried if he's hobbling out onto the field. But just give me the fully healthy quarterback against the bad team.
Yeah, that's true. I wish it was Easton Stick. I like Easton Stick a lot more than Chase Daniel. I think Stick's
Where's he out of?
He's
oh gosh, some weird school. It's
Did you play against him?
no, it's big, still bigger than that. But I think I want to say it was Tony Romo's school.
North Dakota State.
Okay, it was North Dakota State, not Tony.
Oh,
Romo's
he's
school.
Trey Lance's homie with
No,
Carson
that's
Wentz.
South Dakota
South
State,
Dakota
I
State.
believe.
Oh, see, I don't even know my Dakota. See, that shows you how much I know about college football. All right, well, I took care of that game, but you know what, Tyler? I think I skipped it for a reason because it's really hard to break that down without the complete information.
What about Eckler anytime touchdown and Chargers win? Let me just see that. I don't mind that.
That's going to give you like probably plus 200, right?
But because
Probably
Eckler doesn't
more.
score, it better be good.
It's
They
probably
might not
off the
even
board,
have that
right?
up yet, yeah,
I don't
we'll
think it's
see.
going to be up.
Lame. Especially since he don't even get the goal line carries anymore, so he
Plus
shouldn't score.
165.
That's terrible.
What is it?
Plus 165 for Eckler to score and the Chargers win.
That's terrible. That's
even
correlated to the
goal
old
line back.
number. That's correlated to Herbert playing. I wonder how much that will change before game day, or if they're just going to lay it.
Gerald Everett to get in the end zone and the Chargers wins 4-1. There's another guy, Chase Daniels, might just dump off too.
Yeah, that's true. He looks
Should
good
be way
too.
more, though. Should be way more. All right, let's talk about the Niners and the Broncos. My favorite quarterback to talk about on these shows, even though he's not my favorite quarterback, I just don't think he gets the respect that he deserves, but he gets that opportunity tonight. His teammates obviously love him. You saw how excited that offensive line was to be playing for a winner again. And then we're going to Denver where, I mean, Tyler, it almost gets to the point where it's like the coaching can't be that bad, right? I mean, are we just going to automatically assume that all this stuff is going to happen and they're not going to fix it? Heard a lot of good things about Hackett going into the season. The thing is, they're all about him being a play designer and not necessarily being a coach. So
He even score in the red zone.
I like the Niners, man, but it just talking about feeling trappy, right? Doesn't it just seem like it's too easy? Denver's really good at home in September as well. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, man. Probably a wait and see spot for me as this game starts and see how both teams show up on the field. Because I'm with you. Probably want to take San Fran pregame. But I'd hate for Denver to finally get their chips together and all of a sudden they're looking like the team we thought they were going to be. And they just.
But first of all, they're never going to be that team because Patrick's out. And is Judy playing?
He's going to try and play.
His props
Okay.
are listed.
Is he going to be playing second half?
We'll see. It depends
I
on
don't
if you.
think so.
We haven't got the practice news out of there yet for today. So if he practices in full today, there's a chance he's there all game.
Holden, if you're watching, let us know. Holden's probably chilling at practice right now, eating a popsicle. I'm so jealous that guy can eat so much and not gain weight. I like the Niners, but it seems too easy. Kurt, help me out on this game. Help me out. Like, it just seems – I'm like, I get the better defense. At this point, I mean, Jimmy is fine to me. I get the better coach by – as right now is probably the biggest margin we've ever seen in the history of coaching mismatches. Now, Hackett can improve, but if we're only going off priors, it's the biggest coaching mismatch I've ever seen. What do you think, Kurt?
Broncos win this game.
All right, let us know why. What's the path to victory here?
All right, look, Hackett's going to get his shit together. He's going to draw up. He's finally going to score. If this team can score in the red zone, they'll be fine. They've been able to move the ball, not last week, but they've been able to move the ball decently usually. I think they punch it in here. If Judy is like 80%, I think that helps a lot too. But I think Javonte will get run down their throat, even though 49ers have a good
You don't
rushing
think the 49ers can stop the run?
No, they can. They
That's
can.
a good unit.
But
I
Javonte's
changed my mind on this game. Give me San Fran. George Kittle he's not on the injury report anymore.
oh crap. Dang it. And Jimmy G. Oh gosh. The boys are back together. Oh no. Oh, I'm still going Broncos, I think. I would wait and see now. Hopefully the people see kills in and bet it. But I'm still going Broncos. I'll probably be something I bet on like a Saturday or something because I want to see that line move with Kittle back. That might be a stay away now, though.
Kurt.
The Broncos are going to win the game. I'm just telling you because they shouldn't. That's how this works. They shouldn't win this game.
I mean, that's probably the best argument I've heard.
It's just true. Like Russell Wilson's going to have a godly game, and Javonte's going to score like a 30-yard touchdown. It makes no sense, but it's going to happen. Hate to say it.
All right. Yeah, I think that.
You don't mean
49ers defense
Javante's going to
is-
run 29 yards down to the 1, and then Gordon's coming in to steal a touchdown.
Please, God, no.
I don't even think they're going to get that far. They had problems moving the ball against the Texans, who
Texas defense might
right,
not be
but-
that bad.
it might not, but we do know the Niners defense is top notch.
That's
So,
true. That's true.
That's just where I'm going here.
But what about Mr.
Hey.
Unlimited? Mr. Unlimited.
It seems like he's been doing unlimited buffets because he's a lot bigger than he used to be, and he's not moving the way that he used to be. And also, I think he works better under a disciplinarian coach. I think this idea that they're just letting him do whatever he wants, I don't know if it's the best idea. I mean, I think this team should have been based on the run, but now they're just letting him throw every single down. And
Did you guys see
they don't
the
have the same
video of
weapons.
Russ making the whole bench scream out run or pass when the play happens? And they just did not look like they had.
Did you guys even do that in college?
We didn't do that in high school spread playing basketball. Our coach would tell us to scream ball, and we would just ignore him. I'm not screaming ball on the floor.
Unbelievable.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's it for Sunday. We'll discuss the Monday night game on Monday on our review show with Titletown, and special guest Joey Work's going to join us to talk about his 2-0 New York Giants undefeated. He's going to help us break that down. So that's going to be a great show on Monday because, boy, I don't want to be the guy that picks the Cowboys when Joey Works on screen. That's going to be a lot of fun. So, Joey, looking forward to having you guys there.
Spread.
What?
You gave away Monday's thing. I'm on the Cowboys. Now I got to deal with Joey on Monday when I pick the Cowboys.
I mean, hey, I watched Stephen A. Smith and Malika Andrews this morning. I said, you know what? That's the type of stuff we need on Talking Touchdowns, right? Let's get contentious up in here. So that's what we'll be doing on Monday. But for now, guys, what you should do is subscribe to the channel so you'll get notified when we go live with Joey Work, and he absolutely lambasts Tyler for picking against his favorite team. He might bring his dad on. You never know what's going to happen. But what we do know is going to happen right now. Give us that thumbs up, and we're going to give you the best bets. Tyler, what's your best bet for the weekend? Side total prop.
I think a Chiefs smash 'em spread. Give me the Chiefs.
Oh, that was mine.
But here's what I'll do. You could take them just normal on the side. Give me a
Okay.
Chiefs money line, Philly money line parlay.
Okay. What does that get you to? Is that going to get you plus money or no?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'll get you exact on that.
All right. Kurt, what's your best bet for the weekend?
I'm trying to find the odds for it. I already gave out my lock, but I want to kind of add to that.
Remind everyone for the lock because a lot of people just fast forward to this part of the video.
Packers to win in Tampa. And I want to try to add Romeo
That's
Dobbs.
the lock?
Yes. Romeo
Wow.
Dobbs
All
to
right.
score, Packers to win. Romeo Dobbs to score, Packers to win. Rodgers 300 yards.
All right. I love the Chiefs -5. Man, I was thinking I was going to be giving out Buffalo too, Tyler. That Ed Oliver news really starting to compound. I'll probably still be on them, but I don't want to give that out. What other plays do we really like here?
That 2-team money line parlay is dead on even money.
I like it. I like it a lot.
And then before we leave, we keep talking up these to score touchdowns and win picks. We're getting some nice value on these. If we put, say, Justin Jefferson scores a touchdown, Minnesota wins.
That was my next one. D1 to win. D1 and Vikings to score.
We think we're all on the Raiders, right? Other than
No,
you,
I'm
Fred. We
not.
know you don't want the Raiders. You got PTSD. But Adams to score a touchdown, the Raiders wins plus 210. Put that in there.
Wow. I like that a lot.
Drop in at Brandon Cooks anytime touchdown and Houston wins. That's plus 380. You put those three together, it gets you 36-1.
Uh-oh.
Damn.
Tyler's cooking it up again. He hit a 45
add-in-
run last night, guys. He put it in the Run Pure Bets Discord. Guys, if you're only playing DFS, just use that promo code GETBETS. You could have just taken 2 minutes, got Tyler's thing, thrown that in there. And boy, I mean, that's like, getting a top 10 finish in one of those contests to hit a 45-1, right, Kurt? So make sure you're taking advantage of that if you're already a member of Run Pure Sports. If not, head on over runpuresports.com, promo code NFL15. Kurt, once again, a lot of fun talking to you. Love the perspective that you're bringing to the show and really look forward to it. I know the viewers do as well. We've got plenty of great feedback about having you on here. And do you have any words of wisdom for the people before we sign off?
Offensive lineman lives matter too. Okay. So Titans suck. Their offensive line sucks. Bengals offensive line gets it figured out this week, I think. I hope. I said that last week. But
we might have to do a separate offensive line show. I mean, how awesome would that? They wouldn't allow it on a DFS channel. We'd have to go back to the Bets channel. But
I saw Tony has his, and it really.
We can name that show "In the Trenches."
Yeah, see, Tyler's already got it.
They have Tony has one with Ryan Harris, and it's like I get off to it every week. I love it. I mean, we're talking offensive line, dude. It gets me geared up. Especially watch. Oh my! Tell you who really does it for me. I know we're trying to get out of here, but
no, take your time.
Colts guard. The Colts
Nelson.
Quentin Nelson. I mean, hey, to completion. Let me tell you, his highlights to completion. That's what I can get it to. I mean, it is beautiful, dude. But yeah, he's a legend. But that's all I got.
All right, we'll get with Simon and Travis JSU. Try and get this going ahead. We're going to get it sanctioned here in the trenches with Kurt. Sounds like it's going to be a great show. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. One more time, the reminder: hit that thumbs up on your way out and run pure.